Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to tune into a brand new video that was published on NBC's news channel on YouTube regarding Governor Tim Walz and his 5-minute videoed press conference of him giving a press conference about one of the Minnesota lawmakers and their spouses' unfortunate illegal assassinations. What we know about the assassination and the attempted assassinator, as well as the assassinator, because we know that he killed one lawmaker and his wife, and her wife, and shot one and wounded their spouse. He is currently, unfortunately, on the run. Anyway, what we know about the attempted assassination and, attempted assassinator and attempted assassinator and assassinator, is that he is a Republican party member, and he is a well-known member and supporter of Donald Trump, aka Taco Boy, aka fascist, aka 34 felony count, guilty verdict felon. Let's get into the legal breaking reporting and the 5-minute news conference video. It is not surprising, coming from the Republican Party, that is. Shout out to Tim Walz, as well as Minnesota and Minnesota lawmakers, as well as MSNBC.
My good friend and colleague, Speaker Melissa and her husband Mark, were shot and killed early this morning in what appears to be a politically motivated assassination. Our state lost a great leader, and I lost the dearest of friends. Speaker Hortman was someone who served the people of Minnesota with grace, compassion, humor, and a sense of service. She was a formidable public servant, a fixture and a giant in Minnesota. She woke up every day determined to make this state a better place. She is irreplaceable, and we've been missed by so many. Minnesota's thoughts and prayers are with her family, her loved ones, her children, and her parents. My prayers also go out to State Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette, who were each shot multiple times. The Hoffmans are out of surgery at this time and receiving care, and we are cautiously optimistic they will survive this assassination attempt. This was an act of targeted political violence. Peaceful discourse is the foundation of our democracy. We don't settle our differences with violence or at gunpoint. In the state of Minnesota, and as recently as last week, in the most closely divided state legislature in the country, we sat down, we worked things out, we debated, we shook hands and compromised, and we served the state of Minnesota together. We proved that it's possible even in these politically charged times, to find compromise and adhere to the principles of democracy and civil discourse. We must all, Minnesota and across the country, stand against all forms of political violence. At this precipice moment we're on, this tragic act here in Minnesota should serve as a reminder to all of us. The democracy and the debates in the halls of Congress, in state houses, in school boards, is a way to settle our differences peacefully and move society to a better place. We're collaborating with all local, state, and federal agencies on a full investigation. We're committed to keeping Minnesotans informed as this situation continues. I assure you that those responsible for this will be held accountable, and each and every one of us are committed to making sure that a tragedy like this never repeats itself in Minnesota or across this country.
There was an original call in the city of Champlin where there was an individual that had shot Senator Hoffman and his wife. Police responded to that location. They were dealing with that and working through that process overnight. And then later on, at approximately 3:35, that another call came in when it was officers proactively checking because they knew of the incident that occurred, and they were going to check on Speaker Hortman at that time, at which time Brooklyn Park police officers encountered the individual who immediately fired at them, and they exchanged gunfire, and then the individual was able to escape during that exchange of gunfire.
The circumstances that unfolded in Brooklyn Park this morning is that we assisted the Champlin Police Department on a shooting. That shooting was made aware by one of our sergeants that it was at Senator Hoffman's home. In hearing that very intuitive sergeant asked our officers to go check on Melissa Hortman's home, the representative that lives in our community, just proactively as due diligence to swing by. That police officer and his partner pulled down the street when they arrived at Melissa's house. They noticed that there was a police vehicle in the driveway with the lights, emergency lights on, and what appeared to be a police officer at the door coming out of the house. When our officers confronted him, the individual immediately fired upon the officers, who exchanged gunfire, and the suspect retreated back into the home.
Was this an actual police officer or a impersonating police officer?
Yes, the question is, was it a real person or a person impersonating a police officer? It was not a real police officer. This is somebody that clearly had been impersonating a police officer, again, using the trust of this badge and this uniform to manipulate their way into the home.
So Chief Early, Janice the person not only was wearing a badge posing as a police officer, when they approached their victims, they had a car with lights and sirens?
Yes, the question is what kind of vehicle and how were they dressed? They did drive a vehicle that looked exactly like an SUV squad car. It was equipped with lights, emergency lights that looked exactly like a police vehicle. And yes, they were wearing a vest with taser, other equipment that would, a badge very similar to mine, that no question, if they were in this room, you would assume that they are a police officer.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would imagine, since this happened with state government, some state government officials, that Donald Trump, or in this case the executive branch, would not be able to pardon this individual, because it has to do with state crimes, which, of course, yes, may or may not be felony charges. They could be convicted of state charges, which, of course, obviously lead up to federal charges, but also lead them to state prison and not federal prison. So I highly doubt that the executive branch could pardon this individual for assassinating these lawmakers. This individual, however, like I said at the beginning of the video, is a longtime Republican supporter who was ratted out by, believe it or not, his best friend, and was identified as the assassinator and attempted assassin because he killed a lawmaker and their spouse and then wounded another lawmaker and their spouse. That is going to do it, ladies and gentlemen, for this legal breaking reporting and video analysis update. If you did enjoy this legal breaking reporting and video analysis update, ladies and gentlemen, please firstly like, comment, share, subscribe, and enjoy. Secondly, if you would like to make sure you're always up to date on all the things legal breaking reporting wise on the side of politics, please hit the bell icon as well as the all notification option. The all notification option is right next to the subscribe button, which is right next to the subscribe button down below on the right hand side of the screen. Thirdly, if you guys would also like to make sure you're always up to date on all the things legal breaking reporting wise on the side of politics, please follow me on my social medias. That'll be linked down below in the video description. I'm on Instagram, Snapchat, Threads, as well as TikTok. There you guys will be updated instantly when I upload brand new legal breaking analysis videos to the channel. Fourthly, ladies and gentlemen, please help me reach and achieve the goal of 180 plus subscribers. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I'm saying 180 plus subscribers is because right after we reach and achieve the goal of 180 subscribers, ladies and gentlemen, we have more subscribers to reach and achieve right after we reach and achieve the goal of 180 subscribers. Fifthly, ladies and gentlemen, please stay positive. Please stay safe, even though unfortunately I know it's hard for the majority of you at times like these, unfortunately during these unfortunate illegal induced darkness times caused by the illegal, unconstitutional, criminal Trump regime and administration. And know that justice will prevail eventually. Correct me on the correct side of the law, despite Donald Trump and his illegal, unconstitutional regime and administration's executive orders, actions, and behaviors. Even though it's even hard for me during these unfortunate, illegal, induced darkness times caused by the criminal administration, Trump regime. You know that justice will prevail eventually, correct me on the correct side of the law. Eventually, despite Donald Trump and his criminal Trump administration and regime's illegal executive orders, actions, and behaviors, you know that justice will prevail eventually, correct me on the correct side of the law, despite their criminal actions, executive orders, illegal behaviors, and executive orders and actions. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, always look for the points of light in today's unfortunate illegal induced darkness caused by the illegal criminal Trump administration Trump regime. And until the next legal breaking reporting video analysis update, ladies and gentlemen, I will talk to you guys in the next legal breaking reporting and video analysis update.